Baba went to Lendibag at 8 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning. This was fixed. When he took Bhiksha, he went whenever he felt like. But going to Lendibag was fixed. Baba would come out of the Dwarkamai, cross what is now Samadhi Mandir, and then cross Satewada, and at that corner he would wait. The devotees that were in Satewada would come and take his darshan. Also, there is a photograph of his taken there, which I call the invisible Baba, which we will cover when we do photographs. Then he would make a left turn and keep walking past the State Bank of India and past the Vitthal Mandir. Lakshman Mama was the pujari of the Vitthal Mandir. Opposite the Vitthal Mandir is the home of the Sutar family. Baba, there were three brothers, Gabaji, Kondaji and Tukaram. Baba liked Tukaram very much, and he would give Baba warm water to wash his face and brush his teeth and things like that. A very noteworthy thing is that all the woodwork that was done, that is in Dwarkamai, was done by these three brothers. The katra, the railing that Baba placed his hand on, the posts that were there, the pillars that were there. There is a photograph of Baba sitting next to a pillar with his hand on his ear. That photo was taken leaning against the pillar that these brothers made. Baba called them Sutar, however, their name was Bhale Rao. And every Ramnavami, it's also given in the Charitra, 2 flags come from Nana Sahib Nimonkar's house and from Damu Anna Rasne from Nagar. They go to the Samadhi Mandir and Aarti is done for them. Then they come to this home of the Sutars, and again Aarti is done, and being carpenters, they make a huge post on which the flags are placed, and it is taken around the village with much dance and music and things like that, and merriment. And after that, it is placed on the Dwarkamai. The 2 flags are put on the Dwarkamai. So every year at Ramnavami, these flags are changed. The other thing that this family does, the ladies of the house sieve the udi for us so that we don't get bits of coal and things. The udi is very nice and easily ingestible even by a small child. This is the thing that they do. After passing Bhale Rao's house, Baba would go further and make a turn to the right, and on the left side was Kanifnath temple. Sometimes he would go into the Kanifnath Mandir. Kanifnath is one of the new Navnaths, and they were not born like you and I. Kanifnath came out, manifested from the ear of an elephant, and hence his name was Kanifnath. Baba would go into that temple, which is an old heritage temple. Then he would come on the main road, which is the Nagar Manmad highway, which goes to Kopargaon, and then enter Lendibag in the west entrance. When he'd go to Lendibag, he would sit with his back to the Nanda Deep, which he had lit himself, and Abdul Baba would come and give him pots of water that he would throw in about 4 directions with some chanting, which Abdul Baba does not know. Nobody else entered the Lendibag with him. Then about an hour later, the devotees again came with a musical band and took him in procession back to the Dwarkamai. When he went to Lendibag and returned to Lendibag, the devotees like Baguji Shinde and the rest of them, Nana Sahib Nimonkar and Bhutti, all went with a musical band. They left him till at the entrance, and then they came back, and about an hour later they waited for him to come out, and they brought him back royally to Dwarkamai. This is how he went to Lendibag. Baba went to Lendibag regularly at 8 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Lendibag was the area which was a wooded area. It was about 1 acre. The Lendi River was a very ancient river that flowed. It flowed parallel to the Nagar Manwat highway and entered Lendibag between Baba's well, Budki, and the Nandadeep. Baba had called his well Budki, and the Nandadeep is where the eternal lamp is burning. And then it became a stream and went underground. Baba would go to the Lendi River often and he would put coins in it. Here we learn that whenever we pass a holy river, we are supposed to offer the goddess coins, a chunari or a shawl, coconut, and a deep or a lamp. This we should do whenever we pass any holy river or go to bathe in a holy river. Hence, that Bagh was called Lendi Bagh because of the river. Now the river is not there, neither the stream is there, nothing is there. When Baba would go to the Lendi river, he would put coins in it and he would take devotees with him, like Tarkad is one person, and he showed Tarkad lumps of gold. The coins had turned into gold, and he said, "Look, there is gold there." And Tarkad was not interested in this. He said, "Baba, I don't come to Shirdi for all this. I come to Shirdi because of you." Yet he said, "No, see, there's gold. Pick it up. Otherwise, Goddess Lakshmi will be angry with you." Tarkad was not influenced by seeing lumps of gold. He said, "Baba, again I say, I don't come to Shirdi for this. I come to Shirdi because of you. I want you to be with me in this life and any life that may befall me." Another person was Purandare. Purandare didn't even notice it. Baba kept saying, "Look at this, there are gold nuggets in here." He said, "What do I have to do with that gold nugget? It may be lying in there, so it's okay." So these devotees were not influenced by Kanchan, Kamini, and Kaishap. That is, women, wealth, and property or land. It made no difference to them. These are some of the things that cause fights between father and son, brother and brother, because of these things. And it is a hindrance in your spiritual path if you're a slave to any of these. In the Lendi Bagh, there were many flowering trees. Some Baba had planted, like Parijatak, Champa, Tarwad. The other trees that he planted were holy trees, where it said that deities live on these trees. Like Amr is mango, Ambor is Tarwad, which is an indigenous plant. Arisht is neem, Audumbar is holy fig, and Ashwata is the banyan or the peepal tree. When you take in the Sanskrit language, when you take the vowels or the akar or the dots and the half chandra in it, it forms the Om, which is symbolic of Ganapati, who is the deity who prevents difficulties in our lives. When we pray to Lord Ganapati, we don't face the difficulties that would prevent us from progressing in our lives. So Baba, since he went to Lendi Bagh, is our Ganapati that is there for us. So if we have any problems, all we have to do is pray to Baba and he's sure to remove the problems. As I said previously, that Baba would sit with his back towards the Nandadeep. The Nandadeep was lit by Baba. It has been burning eternally since then. When he lit it is not known. However, Abdul Baba would take this lamp and he had dug a hole, and he would place the lamp in there and place a tin sheet over it so that it would not get extinguished. Later, the sound stand was formed, and they made a pedestal and put the lamp in it. The peepal tree was already there before Baba came. They say that the peepal tree was dying, and Baba installed Navgraha in it. How he did it, only Baba knows. This is a tree where all the deities stay, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and there is also a Ganpati formation on this tree. So when we do a pradikshina, then we get the benefit of all these things. I will go back to pradikshina later. This tree was there before Baba came. Baba would stand under this tree and give certain updesh to certain devotees. Once he pulled Moreshwar Pradhan, and he put his hand in his kafni pocket, and he took out a handful of corn and gave it to Pradhan and said, sow. So he dug a hole and he sowed the corn. And Baba watered it, and so did the rest of the devotees. From this, Moreshwar Pradhan got this idea that he has to buy Lendi Bagh and present it to Baba, which he did. When you enter Lendi Bagh, there is an archboard which says Moreshwar Pradhan's Lendi Bagh. The other thing that happened is, with this incident, when Baba would go to Lendi Bagh, they started taking him in procession with a musical band. The musical band would wait for Baba in the Dwarkamai, outside the Dwarkamai, and as soon as Baba came out, the devotees and any other visiting devotees could go. They would go, and the musical band would go. After proclamation of Lalkari, they would take Baba like royalty to Lendi Bagh and bring him back the same way. These two incidents happened after Baba gave him the corn. Next to this peepal tree is the Nandadeep. And next to the Nandadeep, Baba had planted two neem trees. They were planted by Baba and were doing quite well. Later, they got a disease, and the Sansthan cut them off. The neem was loved by the neem tree was loved by Baba, and as we know, he sat under the neem tree. The goddess Nimari stays on the neem tree. When you see a picture of Krishna, there will be Radha Krishna or Shiv Parvati, but Baba's alone. He does not need the Shakti part. He has both Shiv Shakti in him. But he always sat under a neem tree, or he gave advice under the neem tree. So that is Devi Rupam for him. When one does pradikshina around the Nandadeep and in Lendi Bagh, then one gets the Navgraha that he installed in the peepal tree, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and all the deities. It is Shani Priya. If you light a lamp there on Saturday, Lord Shani gets very pleased with you. Then there is the lamp, the Nandadeep. We originally started, we used to pray to the sun, and then when we were able to produce fire, we started praying to Agni Dev, and now the lamp. When you have the lamp, it is the eternal lamp that is burning, which will give you the energy and the blessing to lead a fruitful life. The aim in life is to attain self-realization. So if you have a lamp, it will bestow its blessings on you. And then we've got the goddess. So we've got all these deities. So when we do one pradikshina, we get the benefit or the blessings of all these deities. my one request here to all the devotees is, when you all do pradikshina, maybe you touch the peepal tree once. Every time you make a pradikshina, don't go touching that peepal tree and waking it up. The tree also has a life. Also, when you, in your zeal to get blessings from the peepal tree, you all put chemicals which you'll buy from Shirdi, which is supposed to be kumkum. Kumkum is actually vermilion, which is rice powder with turmeric powder, and then it is given a color. It is a natural substance, but the substances that you get here are dyed material. When women put it on the brukuti, it leaves a mark, a scar, and then you put it on the tree and somebody will go and water the tree and that will leach into the roots. That is not the food of the tree. If you do want to give the tree some nourishment, then please make gauri. That is, you get cow dung from an indigenous cow and make it into like rotis. You shape it with grass. You put grass to give it a body, and then you dry it and you can put those there. So when the tree is watered, the manure will go in. Please, I beg of you all, please do not put these chemicals on trees and don't go touching the tree. The peepal tree is one tree that gives us oxygen 24/7, and you don't let it rest. Everybody needs to sleep. So please, just pray to the tree and make your pradikshina. I'm sure the tree will bless you. After the Lendi Bagh area, if you go a little ahead, there is the Datta Mandir. The Datta Mandir was built by the local devotees of Shirdi who wish to remain anonymous. It was built in 1975 or 76, and the Pran Pratishtha of the Murti was done then. And they have put the Guru Charitra below the Datta Murti. In Baba's time, there was a Datta Mandir. It was a very small mandir which was right behind this mandir that is there now. They also planted an Audumbar tree. So one can do pradikshina either of the tree or of the tree and the Datta Mandir. In front of and to the left are two samadhis there. The first samadhi is Amidas Bhavani Mehta Samadhi. Amidas Bhavani Mehta's name was Amrit Lal. He came from Gujarat. Actually, he came from Kathiawad, Saurashtra. He was a very affluent man and he was attached to a small kingdom. It was called Daya Shankar, Reva Shankar Pandey. He, being a Gujarati, used to worship Lord Krishna. And every time he looked at the photo of Lord Krishna, there was a fakir that superimposed him. So he was very perplexed and he wondered how a fakir could superimpose the Guru, the Jagat Guru. So he thought that he would come to Mumbai, where most people go to Makkah and Medina from Mumbai. So he did come to Mumbai. And there in a tea shop, he saw a small photograph of Baba and he asked the owner about him. So he asked him whether this saint is alive. So he said, yes. So he said, where? So he said, Shirdi. So he caught a bus and came to Shirdi. As soon as he walked into the Sabha Mandap of Dwarkamaya and looked at Baba, he was so overwhelmed with Baba's divinity that he decided that he's not going to go back. However, he used to go back and forth. He used to visit Shirdi often. Then he rented a room in Shirdi and he stayed on because he wanted to be with his Sadguru. He was a writer. Mention is made in the Charitra about the Gujarati book that he wrote. He wrote about the likes and dislikes of Baba and whatever else he found out about Baba. Thus, he spread the fame of Baba to the Gujarati-speaking community who read his books. He asked Baba once, he said, Baba, I want you to promise that you will come with me at every life. I want to die in Shirdi. So he said, I don't know where you may die anywhere, but you will be in Shirdi. And after a short illness, he did pass away and his samadhi is made in Shirdi. Baba loved Amidas very much, who was a kind gentleman. And whenever a devotee fell sick in Shirdi, he would say, Bhau, take this devotee to your home and nurse him. And then Amidas would nurse the man back to health and then bring him and stand him in front of Baba and say, Baba, is he okay, or do I need to nurse him some more? I don't mind doing it. I can look after him for some more time. Is it okay? Can he travel? And then Baba would reply to him whether he had to continue the treatment or nursing or anything further. And that way he did seva for his guru, and he died in Shirdi, and his samadhi is in L&T. The samadhi next to Amidas Bhavani Mata is of Muktaram. Muktaram was a very young man when he came to Shirdi. One does not know his name. It was Baba who called him Muktaram, and so everybody else called him Muktaram. Muktaram would do Baba's running around work for him. If Baba needed a photograph to be delivered to somebody's house, he would do that. Muktaram had a wife and he was very affluent. He had a vada. He came from a village called Revarkhed, and he lived with his mother and he had farmlands. First, he used to visit Shirdi off and on. Then he was so devoted to Baba that he finally decided that he would leave his family, and he came and stayed in Shirdi. He was one devotee that Baba treated like a disciple, in the sense that Baba made him sit in front of Dhunimai and meditate. He kept him from morning till lunchtime, and then Baba had lunch and rested. Then Muktaram would go back to his tin shed, which was next to Dikshitwada. There, Baba had asked him to make a dhuni, and he would tell him, go and meditate there. So it was a rigorous sort of penance that he did for his guru. When it was time for him to come back, again Baba would make him sit and meditate in front of the blazing dhuni. Whether it was cold or scorching hot or whatever, Muktaram would be seen with Baba sitting in front of the Dhunimai. Muktaram was one person that Baba gave his kafni and his sirvesh and even satka to. And after a while, Muktaram nearly started behaving like Baba. Muktaram, there is a misunderstanding about the life of Muktaram and his end. Some people say, some of the devotees said that Muktaram, after Baba's Mahasamadhi, went to the Dwarkamai and sat on Baba's Gadi, saying that he's the heir to Baba's Gadi. However, Gavankar and Muktaram say he never did any such thing. Before Baba's Mahasamadhi, Muktaram had bouts of coughing and he would spit out blood and sputum. Actually, he had tuberculosis and he was in the last stages of that disease. And Baba took Mahasamadhi and Muktaram died 1 month after Baba's Mahasamadhi. Muktaram did go to the Dwarkamai and he came back rather quickly. So Dikshit and the other devotees asked him, what happened? Why did you go to the Dwarkamai? So he said, I was coughing so badly, so I thought I would go to my guru and entreat him to give me some relief of it. However, I found that I was coughing out sputum How could, it was so disgusting and revolting to me that I would be coughing in the place where my guru sat. So I came away. How can I spit there? So he came back, and Gavankar says he never ever sat on Baba's gadi. The preface of one of the Marathi Charitra is written by Sawant, who was a trustee. He says that he sat on Baba's gadi and he had bleeding from his rectum, and as a retribution, he died because he sat upon it, and before they could take him to the hospital in Kopargaon. However, he had tuberculosis, and the devotees like Balabate and Purandare looked after him, and he passed away exactly 1 month after Baba's Mahasamadhi. So he was one of the devotees that Baba treated like a disciple, who taught him, who gave him updesh, who made him do penance. And Muktaram really progressed so much spiritually that it was incredible. This was one great devotee that I really love. Sai Ram.